Yo, what's good YouTube? It's boardzy. This is going to be another quick review of a new release, this time the Pulsar X2H Crazylight, but I will also touch on the Xlite Crazylight, which I was sent out like a month or two ago, and I just never made a video on. But it could potentially be the lightest ergo on the market, correct me if I'm wrong, but both of these are just the mini versions of Pulsar shapes which have been out for years, so nothing new to add on that front, but the weights obviously making them Crazylight is what's new. And with the X2H, it does weigh in at 37 grams, of course, with this classic, like, very high-profile bulbous back hump. And I've been using the GPX2C, the Mini, since I got it a good amount, and it is honestly a shape I prefer to the X2H. I've never been huge on this just, like, aggressive back hump, but I understand a lot of people do enjoy this shape, so now it's in Crazylight form, but it is also at a crossroads, I feel, because there is the Scyrox V8, which launched over a year ago. I checked my reviews like September 19th, 2024. This has a 3950. It's under 40 grams. It's definitely larger than the X2H Mini, but not as large as the medium, and it's just been out for a long time. It's $70. It's available at Micro Center, so it's really hard for me to make a case for the Crazylight over this. And at the same time, if you do want a shape that is just like the lightest kind of high profile option for claw grip, you can get the G-Wolves options, which are around 30 grams. They are even a bit more expensive. I don't want to make it seem like this is a flawed release or really bad in any way. The build quality, the weight, click implementation, it's really fine. Like, you can see how minimized the side wobble is with these Pulsar opticals. There is still like this kind of dullness, lack of full tactility that you get on a mechanical switch, but the experience with this mouse sensor as well has been fine. Yeah, I just really speak from a place of concern for the gaming mouse industry and just innovation. Like, what is really left? This, of course, coming out a year after the Scyrox V8, which came out a year after the original X2H and was a clone of the shape. It just doesn't really have much innovative spirit to offer. I understand part of this is Pulsar is just filling out their Crazylight lineup, and for that purpose, this is a solid release. Yeah, depending on what you prefer, it can still be a great option. Like, I just covered the ULX Sakura. This was $175 for the small size, still comes in at 37 grams. So if you do prefer something high profile for claw, this can be a great alternative to that. If you do want something more Viper Mini shape style-ish, there's the ATK F1 Extreme. You see this just doesn't have the same hump positioning whatsoever. And I will say, on the X2H Crazylight Mini, I was actually enjoying it for fingertip a little bit, because it is so much lighter than the original X2H shape for like kind of a Rocket Jump Ninja flat fingertip. I did feel like I had a good amount of control. The weight felt nice, but obviously this is a claw shape. And for that, it just, compared to something like the 2C, it's it takes up too much of the, like, back of my hand. And I just don't feel like I get anything out of it. I said before that this shape, it just feels like it was made with vengeance. It was like, oh, you want a bulky back hump, I'll fucking give you one. Yeah, it's just my opinion as somebody who has never been a huge fan of the X2H Mini shape. You can go back, watch my old reviews if you really want more shape opinions and analysis. Yeah, if you are a fan of the X2H Mini, you know what to expect. This is just the standard sub 40 gram wireless mouse that we have come to expect. If Pulsar released this 6 months earlier on schedule with the X2 Mini Crazylight, I don't think anybody would have been shocked. So yeah, this kind of just is what it is. I was not huge on the side button positioning. It did, mouse 4 especially, did feel kind of low for when I was trying to use this in Fortnite. But yeah, I just knew this was not going to be a huge pick of mine. Any other questions, let me know. And yeah, now I'll cover the Xlite Mini Crazylight. You can see it next to the Zywu mouse, which is much closer to the Vaxi Outset, like this very high profile palm grip shape, whereas this is just the Mini EC. And this is for somebody who just wants a lightweight mini ergo. As far as I know, just like going off of memory, the lightest ergo was the WL Mouse Sword at like 46 grams. This comes in at 44 on my scale with the default skate, so it'd probably be like 42 with dots, and it's just a lightweight mini ergo. I'm not a fan of this like EC3 mini Death Adder V3 hyperspeed style of ergo shapes, but if you are, I mean, this is similar to the X2H, it's just another option, except I feel like this is a much less saturated market. There's no like direct Chinese budget EC Mini that I know. Maybe I am like behind on this market, but the ATK Z1 is like heavier and definitely larger than this. So yeah, it's hard to overstate that this is just a truly tiny feeling ergo. The Death Adder V4 Pro is probably my favorite ergo, even though I haven't used it much in the past few weeks. and it's just so much larger feeling, and it's only around 10 grams heavier. So it's not by any means this like brick in comparison. But if you do have really small hands and you would prefer something light like this over the Vaxi E1, the EC3DW, a potential ES version of this, I don't know if they're going to release one with Vaxi, then I can say, like, I can give it a recommendation. It doesn't feel like outstanding or mind-blowing in terms of quality, similar to the X2H, just kind of what we expect with the Pulsar opticals. And the side buttons specifically on this one, I did find them to be a bit high up. That's something I've always complained about on the Xlite series, and when I do palm grip, it is much more accessible, so that's just a minor gripe. My hands are way too big for this mouse to begin with. So yeah, that's really going to be all. Not too much for me to say with these, because once again, they are just these standard shapes, but in the Crazylight form, which is something we can all imagine. But yeah, I guess my suggestion would just not be limiting the Crazylight to the smallest size. I know with the X2, they did release the medium, but only for like one limited group buy, and obviously with these, they're the smallest version of the shapes, and I don't know if it's just like they're insecure about the weights. They don't want to release something like in the high 40s and call it Crazylight. But at the same time, small, lightweight, like, that's been done. Nobody's really impressed with it anymore. So that's definitely my message. Like, the standard size X2H, I'm not a big fan of that shape either, but if it were to be like, I don't know, 40 grams, that would be a pretty cool release. Like, there aren't many mice that big that are available in such a lightweight. So that's just my feedback. You guys can let me know what you think about these releases. Like, these mice definitely have their place in the market, but they're not shapes that I'm specifically going to come back to. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Any other questions, comments, concerns, leave them down below. And Ninjutsu 10 review will be coming up next.